You guys, Euphoria season 3 is still in the works. It feels like it's actually never going to come out ever. But despite all of the drama, they're still trying to make this thing happen. And we are going to get into all of the recent updates that have come out about this upcoming season.
So where do we even begin? This has been one of the messiest shows off screen. At the end of Euphoria season 2, several major storylines were left unresolved. Rue still owes drug dealer Lori $10,000 after Jules and Elliot flushed her stash, which caused a rift between Jules and Rue. Nate turned his dad Cal into the police, and Fezco is developing a relationship with Lexi before being arrested after a shootout that took Ashtray's life. But since then, we've waited and waited and waited. The last episode dropped in freaking February 2022. There's been delays, strike-related halts, and behind-the-scenes drama. At one point, we were told season 3 would come out in 2025. Then, obviously, 2025 came around, and right now, apparently, we're gonna get it next year in 2026. And everyone has been saying, you know, by that point, will we even care? Because let's be honest, there's been so much damage, and the fans of the show have grown tired. This was once a show people loved and dressed up as the characters for freaking Halloween. But so much time has passed that the hype has really died down for another season because it's just felt like it was never coming. And several stars of the show are not returning, which has also led to fans being like, I don't know, just cancel it at this point. This extended period of uncertainty, though, where production was delayed for years, has just been so hard on the cast of Euphoria, with many juggling commitments and having to prioritize the show despite not actually being able to film. For some, like Sydney Sweeney, this meant turning down other opportunities early on, only to realize that production was nowhere near starting. And while many kept quiet about their frustrations, some like Eric Dane opened up about, just how difficult that limbo really was. In doing press for the new series Countdown, Eric was asked about Euphoria. Variety reported asking him, Countdown was shot in the hiatus between season 2 and 3 of Euphoria, as production on the newest season was continually pushed back. Is it nerve-wracking to find work in the time between seasons? And he says it's frustrating because HBO has exclusivity, so it's tough to go out and find another job, a show that they expect to have some legs to it. HBO is probably not going to allow that because it'll interfere with Euphoria's schedule, obviously. So it was tough being put on ice for a little, but I did find some other interesting things to do, and you learn how to just wait. Fans recently learned deeply upsetting news as Eric publicly revealed recently his diagnosis with ALS, a progressive and incurable neurological disease. He shared that he's already lost use of his right arm and is quickly losing function on his left, with doctors telling him he may only have a few months before it becomes unusable too. Despite this, Eric made the remarkable decision to continue working and return to film Euphoria season 3 just 4 days after announcing his diagnosis. He's described staying on set as something that lifts his spirit, even called it a lifeline. And this update has fans emotional, especially given how much speculation there's already been around Euphoria's production delays, story confusion, and cast changes. They're like upset that it's taken this long to get him work because they don't want him to have to struggle through filming. But his character Cal is set to have a significant role this season. Allegedly, apparently, there's just so many rumors when it comes to this show. But what is clear is that Eric is determined to keep pushing forward with his work and is showing an incredible amount of strength through it all. Though fans are happy to see him continuing on in his role, there are several stars who won't be reprising their roles this third season. As we've talked about, Barbie announced that she was done with the show after a rocky season 2 where her character Kat was essentially sidelined. She later revealed that Sam Levinson just didn't relate to Kat and had no direction for her. Then there was the heartbreaking passing of Angus Cloud, who played Fezco. Fans genuinely can't imagine continuing the story without him, and rightfully so. His presence grounded so much of the show, and fans just can't imagine what it will be like without him, especially without Ashtray even being in it as well. Storm Reed and Mika King, Rue's sister and mom, are also out. They're not a part of the season, which raises the question of what is Rue's storyline even going to be now? We've talked about the rumors that Zendaya allegedly clashed with Sam Levinson, the show's creator, over the creative direction of this next season. Sam's idea for Rue to become a private detective, HBO apparently said, yeah, no. Good on that. And honestly, thank God for that. Then apparently Zendaya tried to pitch a story of Rue getting sober and becoming a surrogate mother, which didn't make the cut either. And let's not forget, The Idol, Sam's other project with The Weeknd that got so much backlash for being chaotic and exploitive to the point that people were like, I don't think I like Sam anymore. And they were looking at Euphoria in a weird, different light now. They were like, why is Sydney Sweeney always doing these naked scenes? They feel unnecessary, and people were blaming Sam for this. And it's crazy because a lot of people once thought that Sam was this visionary, and they were just like, wait, is this a guy that does things for shock value and he has a good eye for cinematography? And even for that, he's been called out, because when it comes to Euphoria, the whole vision behind the show seems to be something that he allegedly copied. Last year, reports claimed that Petra Collins, a talented photographer and filmmaker who has worked with Selena Gomez, Olivia Rodrigo, and brands like Gucci, Adidas, Levi's, so many others, claimed that Sam Levinson, the creator of Euphoria, reached out to her in late 2022, saying the show was inspired by her visual style and invited her to direct it. Apparently, Petra moved to LA and spent 5 months helping develop the show, shaping its casting, aesthetic, and themes, only to be dropped because HBO apparently, allegedly, said that she was too young. A year later, she says that she saw a Euphoria billboard that mimicked her distinctive selfie-lit, dreamy aesthetic and was devastated, feeling like her work had been copied without credit. This accusation adds to ongoing criticisms Levinson has faced for allegedly sidelining female creatives on his projects, which was really brought to light when he was creating The Idol. Amy Sheamus was originally hired to direct The Idol, and Amy had reportedly completed about 80% of the show when major changes were suddenly made behind the scenes. She was removed from the project, and Sam stepped in to take over directorial duties. Once Sam took over, the tone of the show shifted significantly. Amy's original vision was said to be more female-focused and character-driven, reportedly exploring themes around fame and exploitation. But under Sam's direction, the show became far more graphic and explicit. Multiple reports from cast and crew described the revised version as disturbing. This dramatic shift sparked intense backlash online, especially after early previews suggested the show glamorized a lot of toxic and unhealthy dynamics. The situation with Amy became symbolic of a broader criticism of Sam, that he brings women into his projects only to replace or minimize their contributions in favor of his more provocative and often male gaze heavy direction. So with all that being said about Sam, people haven't been the most thrilled about what this upcoming season of Euphoria was about to be. HBO did try to rally some support though when they posted that they were officially back in production at the beginning of this year, and also announced that Rosalía would be joining the cast. Small clips from filming the show have gone around since they've begun production, and people have seen things that look like Nate and Cassie getting married, Zendaya and Alexis Demi filming at a diner, and Rue yelling at a new character. More and more has slowly been revealed as the cast has done interviews, and some are surely trying to drive up some hype for this season. Coleman Domingo, in an interview with W, teased the time jump in the upcoming season and said, "It's some years later and you find our characters in other circumstances. We get the treat of actually peeling back a little bit more of the Ali that we've come to know. We have to understand how he got there." In another interview, Sydney Sweeney teased the upcoming season as unhinged, as she said, "It's so fun to play a character that is as crazy as she is. Creator Sam Levinson is such a brilliant filmmaker to work with, because I'll read something, then I'll call him and I'm like, let's go crazier. And he's like, I'm all in. And this season is unhinged." When the reporter asked in response, "More unhinged?" Sweeney replied with a laugh, "Yes." As of a few weeks ago, she gave another interview and said that the show was halfway finished with filming.
Euphoria season 3, what can you tell us about it?
Nothing.
Great. I love that.
That was the question we're not allowed to ask.
Another question I should have said.
And there it is.
I'm very happy to be back. It's fun. Cassie's crazy. The cast is incredible. I love the crew. It's like going home to family. It's
Nice.
a lot of the same people from season 1, so it's been like 6-7 years.
How far through shooting are you?
About halfway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Again, is it another character that's nothing like you?
Yes.
Yes.
She is insane. She's wild.
What was your favourite scene so far? Nothing.
Nice try.
That's close.
Eric Dane also teased the season at the premiere of Countdown, saying, "You're going to get more of the same," which I think for that show is a good thing. Dane said about the upcoming episodes, "We're moving right along. I don't know exactly what it is I'm doing per se, but I trust creator Sam Levinson with every fiber of my being." But will it actually be all that they're hyping up? Because even during season 2, a lot of people felt that the online theories were almost better than what actually ended up playing out on screen, but we'll just have to see. There's been a lot of rumors going around, but also people saying HBO might be planning rumors as to not spoil what will actually be happening, but here's some of what has been said. Cassie is rumored to be pregnant or have a child in the 3rd season of Euphoria. Sydney Sweeney is expected to have a similar amount of screen time to that of season 2. Rue and Maddie will allegedly lead the 3rd season of Euphoria, with their storylines taking center stage across the 8 episodes. Alexa Demi is expected to have significantly more screen time in season 3 than she did in previous seasons, which also, yes, this was confirmed news that it will be 8 episodes. Season 3 that we have waited all this time for, 8 episodes. So who knows if any of this is true, but one thing I do know is that 8 episodes part, that is true because they've confirmed that in the press. But it's very interesting to think about what might happen in this time jump. I want to know if you guys have any theories for what might go down based on some of what has been said, some of the set clips that we've seen, but let me know if you'll be tuning in and all your thoughts in the comments. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.